Hello everyone, this is Joe. Thanks for joining me on this video where we'll be discussing job tasks. So in SignTracker, there are tasks that are separate, that can be assigned separate due dates from the job itself. And you can find your tasks in a couple different places in SignTracker. First of all, on your job flow board, you'll see the tasks on the job card. So you could click here and it'll take you to the tasks on this particular job. And in order for those to show up on the job card, if you see this little gear icon here, you basically have to make sure that this task checkbox is checked off. So once it is, then you can start to see your progress. So the goal would be, you have 2 tasks here completed out of 20, 10% done. So the goal would be when you slid your job all the way to the closeout stage, that all your tasks would be completed, maybe with the exception of collecting the final balance from the customer. But let's take a look at how tasks are set up and assigned in the system. So this job is a brand new job. I'm going to go in here, view the job, and we're going to go to tasks. And then this is where you can set up tasks for the job. So I can simply just add a couple quick tasks to a job. Let's say I have to order some materials and I have the part number 1, 2, 3 and it's from whatever vendor. Save the task, and then now this task can be assigned to somebody, so I can assign it to myself, and then I can assign a separate due date. So we see that this job is due on the 8th, so I'm going to have this task done by the 30th of September. Save it, and you have the task here. You can edit that, and you can also edit the description. So that's how to set up just an individual task on a job. But you can also create task templates, which make it so much easier. So if you set up templates for different job types, you will choose it from here. Let me show you really fast. We're going to leave this for just 1 second. We'll come right back to it. Under your settings, or setup tab rather, under settings, you will see task templates. And basically all you need to do is go create new task template and simply start typing in your task. So I can, I'll just do this test. We won't save this, but test 1. You can pre-assign tasks here. So if you have a smaller shop and you've had the same designer at the shop for 10 years and you know that person is going to be doing all the designs, you can pre-assign tasks. And we'll just go testing and we'll go ahead and submit that. We'll go ahead and add that task, and then we'll do another one, testing 2 and testing, and we'll add that task. So basically that's pretty much how you do it. And then you'd name this, you can name this task template anything you want. So say this was for banners. And then also, if you have like 10 different tasks and all of a sudden you think, oh man, this needs to be in this order, you can just drag these into any order you want. So just, if you're just kind of doing a brain dump and you're doing, oh, these are all the things I always need to remember on this type of job, that's fine. Just get all your tasks done and you can always order them at the end. And then title them, and then simply submit it, and then you have your task list. So that's how to set up tasks. Again, that's under setup, settings, task templates. All right, so now let's go back to our job. We'll come to the calendar in a second. We'll go back to our job and we'll look at the task template. So you have these templates you created. You simply go here and you say banner. And then this is pretty simple. So a banner is a simple kind of job. You only have maybe 3 or 4 different things you have to do with it. And then these tasks, again, can be assigned to anybody in the shop. And then you can have separate due dates. I'm going to go ahead and delete these tasks because I want to show you really fast. You can have really extensive task lists. And if you're interested, I have this task list in a spreadsheet that I could send to you for larger projects, and I have some smaller task lists for smaller projects too. I'm happy to email that to you, and then you can use that as a guide and add to it, and then go ahead and set up your task list. So if you just hit me up in the little chat tool here and say, hey, can you email me the task list and give me your email address, I'm happy to send that to you. Okay, so now you can see this is for, so I had an electric sign shop at one time for about 10 years. And so we did really big, extensive projects. And so, everything from design and meeting with the client and talking about what their needs were, to going to do a site survey, doing the code check with the city, checking access to power and what the power requirements were for the building, install quotes if you need it, unless you do all your own installs. We did our own installs. Project quotes if you're getting different components of the project quoted out by subcontractors. Follow up on the bid with the client. What's nice is even this, I could say, look, Joe is going to follow up on this bid. We submitted the bid, and I called the client. I'm going to call the client on Monday. We submitted the bid a few days back just to follow up. I can save that date. Then I can add a note. Get deposit and get contract. And I can put down even that I did this. I called to follow up on the on the 10th, for example, and the client said, call me back in a couple weeks. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and save that. So I know that I know that I had called on that, and then I set the due date out, another couple of weeks, and then that'll show up on my task list. So, and again, if you have these extensive task lists, but yet, you don't have to deal with permits on this particular project. You can go ahead and delete some of these. So even if this is a giant task list and half of them don't apply, but you wanted to make sure you didn't forget anything, you can always delete them. And as long as you're doing that within a job, it's not going to affect the template that you created, because the template for a new job will always come back to the original template. Okay, so let's look at, so the question is, where does everyone go every day to figure out what has to be done? And so if you go, I'm going to close this. If you go under Jobs tab and go to Job Task, which is basically a list of all the tasks that are open that you have that you're working on. It's gonna, when you sign into SignTracker, it's gonna automatically default to you. You can also print this task list if you're the kind of person that likes to have, walk around with a clipboard, done, and then come back at the end of the day and, check off that, hey, this is completed. If you're managing everyone in the shop, you're one of the owners or managers, you can come in here and you can filter this out by all employees or any individual employee and see what's going on. Why does design have 10 tasks, or the service department have 10 tasks, or a printer have 10 tasks, or whatever, that are behind. So then you can sort of start addressing that. Either you have too many jobs for that particular area of your business, or maybe you need to throw a little bit more resources and help. Anyway, it helps you just make some decisions. But on the job list view, I literally kept this open all day. Between the job list view, and the task list, I had those two tabs open all day, and I would bounce back and forth. So I always knew what I had to do in the course of a day. And here you can also, so if I wanted to change this, like, hey, I'm not going to have time to get to this, so I'm going to go ahead and reassign this to somebody else. You can do that from here. You can also bump the due date if you need to. So if this needs to get bumped back a couple weeks or whatever, you can do that from here. And then of course all the ones in red are what's past due. So as you're working through your tasks, you just in progress, done, and then back to your job flow board. It's going to show you, what percentage of completion of your tasks are done. Lastly, let's look at the calendar. It's another place where you get tasks. So you will get an email reminder about your tasks that are due. Here, it's the same. If you really like working off a calendar view, you can see all unassigned tasks. You can see tasks on every job, or you can just see your tasks. So you can just check those boxes, and you can slide these if this date, hey, this isn't going to get done this week, so I'm gonna slide this over out a couple days. It'll change the due date of the task in the task list. It'll also change the due date of the task inside the job itself. So I think that's a pretty good picture of the tasks in SignTracker. They're really useful to keeping your job moving along. So I hope that our task tool helps your team know exactly what they have to do and keeps your shop on task. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we'll be posting updated videos on a regular basis. And if you have any questions or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you through our chat tool found in the app. Thanks again. Have a great day.